Hello and welcome to another edition of AttractWell Office Hours. I'm Coach Ashley, joined today by founder of AttractWell, Greg Kilwine. Hey, Greg.
Hello, everyone. Super glad you're here today.
Yes, we are. Today, we are getting into a better way to get your clients started. You may have used forms in the past. You may have used things like Typeform. Like they're very interesting options. Maybe you've used paper forms to get your people started. Today, we're going to show you how you can create something that is dynamic, interactive, and most importantly, really effective at helping you get clients started with this new feature that we have in AttractWell called Custom GPTs. So today we're going to expand upon the many uses of this feature yet again. Excited to have you guys here. I also have several people signed up for live reviews today. If you are here for a live review, go ahead and let me know. Say hello in the chat as well. Let us know who you help and where you are in the world. It's always great to learn more about the folks that make their way to us. This is a live call that we offer every Thursday at 2 p.m. US Eastern Time, and it's a fantastic opportunity to get to know the AttractWell platform better, to learn some interesting use cases, or in the case of today, in the last few weeks, learn about specific features. And today we are going to be diving into an onboarding use case for this new feature that we've launched. So I hope that you are excited. I hope you came prepared maybe with questions. If you're interested in exploring how you might onboard your clients and the way that you work with them, and you would like to maybe see some modifications to what we're talking about here today, make sure that those go into the Q&A so that we can see them. If we have time to go into the specifics of that here on today's call, I'm happy to do it. But it may be that we create another training entirely that reflects the use case that you're looking for, and we're happy to do that. So don't be shy. We love to hear from you. Go ahead and get those into the chat. We're going to pop out a video and into this presentation I've put together for you guys. Welcome again. Excited to have you here today for another office hours. Today, we're going to learn how to use AttractWell's new custom GPT feature to function as your client intake forms. All right. So today we're going to talk about the issue, the problem, really several problems with forms in the traditional sense, how most of us have used them, whether those be paper, which truly are flat, or forms on pages that can feel a little tedious or not very dynamic to work with. So we're going to talk about why our intake forms, as we have known them, are giving us less information than we think. We're going to talk about how our custom GPT can turn our client onboarding into a real conversation that really gets you to a better starting point than you might have previously when you're getting started with clients. If this is at all familiar to you, you send clients agreements, maybe you send them some type of an intake, but then you still wind up spending your first call basically continuing to do intake. What I'm proposing to you here today is that you might be able to dive straight into your work on your first call, right? Without having to go back and do this kind of recovery of information. We'll also talk about how you can use this tool throughout the full client lifecycle, not just for intake, because again, you've got a lot of really important opportunities to collect information for things like client or customer success, for one, of course, making sure that folks are getting what they came for, but also being able to capture information that powers your marketing moving forward, things like case studies and information that fills those out. We'll talk about what it takes to set up a GPT so that it actually represents you and functions in a way that is coherent, that is in alignment with what you're doing, and really importantly, helps to better deliver value, right? Not just, present you with a way to save your time. This truly is today a project of making sure that your client is getting more out of the experience, not just you optimizing an AI tool, right? And of course, as always, we'll get into live help and Q&A here. If you have questions, feel free, don't be shy. Go ahead and add those to the Q&A as they come up for you. Hopefully we can get to all of them and show you all of the answers live here. But what you ask really does power how we show up and help you moving forward. So please do let us know what you want to know more about. If you are not on the live call and you're watching this as a replay, come join us. We're live every Thursday, 2 p.m. US Eastern Time, attractwell.com/office hours. If you'd like to work together on a call like this one, right? So every Thursday, the second half, we do dedicate to working together live, and you can sign up and reserve space for that so I can review your work. We could do that. That's attractwell.com/work review. We also have other opportunities to work throughout the week. Pam hosts calls, small groups AttractWell.com/live help is a great place to go if you are just getting started with AttractWell or if you have a question or need some hands-on help. And finally, if you'd like the work done for you, our team can do that too. AttractWell.com/concierge is where you want to go to get a quote on your project and get started. All right, so let's talk about the problem with the intake forms as we know them, whether these are paper or more likely you've maybe learned how to use Pages in AttractWell to have forms where people can input short or long pieces of information. They can maybe select multiple choice answers, right? The problem with these is, even if you have a really pretty good one, is that they ask every client the exact same question, regardless of what they said previously, right? It's very flat and it's very one size fits all. And you are going to be getting, as a result, surface level answers that still require follow-up, right? So your first session is still going to be spent doing what is essentially administrative work. Now, if the client submits it also, this is something that's just going to sit in your inbox, right? It does go into your past actions for your contact inside of your AttractWell system as well. And it's something that you just skim before the call. And this isn't a you thing, right? If you have it set up this way, it's actually not a problem. It's actually a lovely way to use this. I've used it this way myself for many years, but there's a better way now, right? There's a better format. So a conversational intake is going to kind of bridge the gap between what it would look like for you to conduct the intake yourself on a one-on-one basis and what the form would do in your stead, right? So in this case, the GPT in AttractWell is going to ask follow-up questions based on what each client actually says. So if you are looking to get very specific granular details, you may ask it to begin with a broader answer to a question, and then maybe drill down to learn a little bit more about origin or priorities or whatever it is that's relevant to you and how you serve your client. So two clients in this case with different situations will fundamentally get two different conversations, and you'll capture the exact information that you're looking for. And you don't need to understand conditional logic to build this. You don't need to understand branching or even know what I mean when I say that to be able to set something like this up, because the way that our AI tool works allows you to simply converse with it to create the thing that you want, or you can come prepared with a prompt, as I'm going to, for the sake of time, share with you today. So you're going to be able to describe what it is that you need, and the GPT builder is going to handle the conversation from there. And you get to walk into session one with your client with real context instead of needing to go and try to read between the lines of what they shared. So let's talk about what this GPT will know and what it won't, okay? So this GPT that you create, it's going to know who the contact is and what tags are on their contact file. It is not going to carry over memory from previous GPT sessions, right? So this isn't, like if you have paid Claude or ChatGPT and you go in and you pick up a conversation where you left off, that's not how this works. This is going to be for, we'll say, specific goalposts or specific points in the journey, like at the beginning, midpoints, and etc. So you would use this for onboarding, but you would use a different one for another stage of the process, right? And this tag-based context is going to be how you can give it relevant information about where a client is in your process, right? So again, this is an interesting feature, and I think that I haven't used it yet, and maybe Greg can help us with that here in a bit. But your GPT that you create, if you're going to put this into your member area, it knows who your contact is, and it also knows what tags your contact has. So if you are using an automation, perhaps in another stage of your process, to indicate that maybe this is somebody who isn't just signed up for this program, but maybe they're also signed up for VIP for something else. And so they have access to information. So you don't have to be redundant, right? In how this thing engages, just as a very basic example. And so your setup is how you're going to determine the utility of this tool. So just like most things in AttractWell, this truly is something that is fully customizable to you and the nuances of how you serve, okay? Now, you can use this for a number of purposes. I want to kind of explore a few of these here. And what I'm going to demo for you today is an onboarding GPT, all right? But here's another way that you could consider setting something like this up, like a general knowledge base that lives inside of a private customer vault, or maybe even inside of a group program. So when we think about, between the calls that we might have with clients, whether that be in a group setting or one-on-one, the questions that they have don't stop, right? Like they need to reference things. Obviously, recordings can be helpful. Notes and lessons and tools and stuff are helpful too. But what if we had something that could show up for them and answer questions, right? A GPT loaded with your methodology can answer in your voice within the scope that you set, of course, right? While they're still inside of your member area, right? Where they're accessing information, they have follow-up questions. This can give you the ability to provide them with a richer experience, right? And so you get to define what it handles and what it saves for the next session. And then this will reduce the sort of low stakes back and forth that you might have with the client otherwise without removing you from the relationship, right? So this is actually a pretty solid opportunity to reduce administrative load to a limited extent. Again, I certainly wouldn't suggest that you're replacing yourself with a robot, but there are opportunities, I think, for a lot of us, for the things that we repeat the most, to be able to plug that into a tool that makes this referenceable and easily repeatable for them without them needing to email you, and you have that back and forth, right? I also love this for milestone check-ins, right? So you can trigger a check-in GPT at a specific point in your client's program. So that could be a midpoint, it could be after a particular milestone is reached. And again, it's going to know who they are based on their contact record and their tags. And it can ask questions that are relevant to that stage that they're at, not just some generic check-in, right? So here we can maybe have a GPT that we create that happens after they have completed a lesson, a specific lesson, maybe midway or a quarter, 3/4 of the way through a program, right? And that can maybe check their knowledge. It can maybe ask them about maybe some of the metrics that you might be measuring or that you may have them following throughout the program. And here you have the ability to get structured input without having to schedule another call, or again, to use the time that you would be spending coaching for administrative or teaching purposes, right? Another great way to use this resource is at the beginning and end of a coaching container. So at enrollment, of course, we'll capture the client's starting point in their own words. We can use one at offboarding to capture what shifted and what was accomplished. And we ultimately wind up with before and after language in the client's voice, which is perfect for you to use in your marketing. And of course, it gives you a very clear picture of whether or not that client achieved what you hoped that they would, so that you can make modifications as needed to how you show up and serve. And this, again, really, really useful for case studies, sales, testimonials, and for your own process auditing. Now, let's talk about how this connects. Right. So at the end of the day, I think part of the biggest reason why most of us don't use tools like this is because when you think about how it would need to connect on the back end to everything else you need to do, you'll go cross-eyed, right? It seems very complicated. And the truth is that it is quite complicated if you have your tools spread across 17 different platforms that you have to manage how they connect together, or you need to hire someone full-time to manage that, right? That is how this world worked maybe 15 years ago, but that's not how it has to be now, because with AttractWell, every GPT interaction is going to be happening inside of AttractWell. It's going to be associated with that contact. It will be updating that contact's record and applying automations and things like this based on the outcomes, right? So those tags from the intake can trigger automations, segment clients automatically, and we feed the contact record with this, right? So whatever they say, the results of whatever that dialogue is, you have a full actual record of what was said, and you can have reports fed into the past actions of your contact's card. And again, that information is there every time you open their profile, just like you would go and reference your previous notes on that contact. You've got everything from their GPT interactions there as well. So let's talk about how we can set up a GPT that onboards and serves our clients. We want to first be super clear on what we want it to do, what questions we want it to ask, right? Like GPTs, or just AI in general, can do a pretty decent job of sort of vibing assumptions about what you may want or require. But because this is a tool that will ultimately be interacting with your clients on your behalf directly, I would really take some time to get super clear on this and make sure that there is not really any question left, right? I want to make sure that I know exactly what I want to say so that this is going to say exactly what I want it to, right? And then I would definitely consider, especially if this is going to be inside of a container, I would make sure that you have a knowledge base that establishes the scope of what can and should be said, what should be avoided, what the rules are, et cetera, so that we can keep responses accurate and in our voice. And then the prompt that we use is going to define the GPT's role, tone, behavior, et cetera. And then what you put in ultimately is just going to determine what comes out. So let's talk about what that looks like. Our knowledge base file is something that I recommend creating for this particular use case. I don't think that these are necessary across the board. Like if you're creating a lead generating GPT, you don't necessarily need a knowledge base for that, right? But for something like this, where we are actually referencing knowledge that we need to set as the source of truth, that is going to be important in this client-facing version of a custom GPT. So here we're going to want to include our methodology, our FAQs, what we want it to avoid, what client expectations are. And I want you to think of it as a briefing document that you'd give a new team member. And the more specific you can be with this information, the better, and scope it clearly so that the GPT stays on task. And your prompt that you want to give your GPT in AttractWell to do this, again, you could simply dialogue with it and answer questions that it provides you. You could also come in with a detailed prompt. That's what I'm going to do today for the sake of time. What I'm going to do is define what the GPT is and who it's talking to. We'll set the voice and the tone. It should sound like you, warm, direct, right? Or how else would you want it to sound, right? You can give specific instructions here for common scenarios, tell it what to do when it doesn't know the answer. And I'm going to actually show you, I personally use Claude pretty extensively. And I'm going to actually show you first, you know what? I'm actually just going to show you what I have in AttractWell for this. So starting point, this is Jane. Jane has a program. And Jane has, inside of AttractWell, her AI settings filled out. I would argue you could actually do this in AttractWell if you wanted to. So I would down here to my account settings and clicked right here on AI settings. It's right here. Now I have this filled out pretty extensively. I've got a lot of information in here. One of the things that I actually have in here is what my core paid offer is. And I have a program outline in here as well. If you've seen our previous trainings on using the GPT, like the one we did last week, then you'll see that this is something that I highly recommend having in place. But what I did was actually took this over to a project in Claude because I use that, a paid version of that. And I asked it to, I basically told it that I wanted to come up with an onboarding document, so an onboarding questionnaire that I could use for a custom GPT for intake for this program, right? And so I allowed it to come up with that. I'm actually going to open the files that it provided to me. I'm going to show you what I came up with. And you could use AttractWell to do this as well, by the way. If you come over here to Write with AI, you could actually ask it to tell it here, I am creating a custom GPT for onboarding for my program. I want to use this to ensure that I am able to get right to work with clients in this program with all info I need to get started before the first call. Suggest a prompt to provide my GPT builder, and I can have it right. Okay, so this is something you could do in AttractWell. You could take the response that it gives you, because again, it's going to be checking against those AI settings that you have. And so once it creates this, I could copy this and then go over. Here it is. You're an onboarding assistant for the There's the program. Oh, this is actually quite good. All right, so I can copy this and come over here to my content library and go to my GPTs and quizzes. create a GPT, and then I could just paste that whole prompt in here and get started. Now, I actually have one that I devised previously, and like I said, I'm actually going to show that to you guys. Let me find that here real quick. Where is that? Here we go. Okay, so this is the prompt that was built for me. It's actually quite similar. I think this one is just a little bit more comprehensive. I am using, this is the Claude Opus. So it is thinking quite a bit more. It's got a bit more details. It is defining outcomes and rules for me. I have actually trained that Claude to use AttractWell's GPTs. So again, just for the purpose of time today, I'm going to use that. And I will copy that in here into my prompt field. And what I'm going to do is, while it's thinking, let me show you. I did also ask it to come up with a knowledge base file for me. And you can actually have AttractWell's AI come up with the contents of a knowledge base file for you as well. And in this case, you would want to create create a TXT file. That you could use other file types here. This could be Word or Pages, DocX, etc. But here is our knowledge base. We've got about the coach. Obviously, this is Jane. We've got the program overview. We've got the other things that she does. We've got other links. We've got common questions. We've got things that it should never do and things that it should always do, right? So these are things that we might want in our knowledge base. And just so you know, if you want to use this as an ongoing thing, you want to modify it, make sure that you are not only interacting with what's here, but also this knowledge base, right? So let me come down here and actually attach that knowledge base file. And let's come back over here and dialogue with this to create this. I said great prompt. All right. This is Jane Jones. All right. So I'm going to let them, it did catch my coach name here. All right. So we're going to let this do its thing for a second. It's going to come back and ask me a couple of questions. So this is going to be a structured onboarding intake to enable contact tagging via outcomes. Does it collect extra information beyond the conversation? So this is where we can specify. This GPT will live in a vault and as such will already know who the contact is. So it doesn't need to collect their name. We can actually, and this is something I can ask it to do, I want it to address them by name, right? I want it to say, hello, their name. That's going to be really helpful here too. So for a client agreement, if you need something, Tiffany, for like if you need something that is signed, like it depends on what, sometimes you need something that is a little bit more structured, signature wise, that maybe collects, time stamps, location stamps, things like that. If you need something like that, I would still recommend using a third party official document signing system. But if it is, something that's a little bit simpler where you could just capture an I agree, there is a way to do that with Pages. In AttractWell, we actually have a field that we could send them to for something like that. So an agreement is something that we could absolutely incorporate here. All right, so let me see. No contact collection, form structure onboarding guide. I do want to tweak some things. So let me go ahead and say I want it to greet them by name when they open this GPT. So since this is onboarding, Taylor, for reference here, I'm going to be placing this inside of a vault. And I'll show you how, like where I place this and how this will work. I'm actually not going to collect their name because this is going to be inside of your member area. A vault lives in your member area, and that is going to require them to be a contact in your system. And so this is going to know who that person is. All right, so this is in a member vault. Contact name's already shown. Great. Okay, we're going to apply this configuration and help me set up actions. All right, so challenge graduate ready to go. Sure, that's done. Stay on the page. And I want to auto approve and go to the next lesson because this is going to actually be inside of a class in the member area. So basically we'll add them to the member area where they'll be able to access content, but this will be the first thing that they have to engage with, meaning everything is locked after this. So if they don't complete onboarding, they don't get the next step, right? So that's how this is going to be set up. All right, so I'm going to click done. New member needs foundation, onboarding foundation. Tell you what, let me just save this real quick. And I want to take a look at it. Let's go view it. All right, we do need to adjust this potentially, although it's not in the member area, so that might not be an issue. All right, so walking through a few quick questions so we know exactly where we're starting and how to support us best. How did we find our way here? I'm ready to start, or I completed the 14-day challenge and now I'm here. So this assumes, I did the thing that was before this. All right. How did the challenge go for you? Did anything surprise you or stand out? I slept better for the first time in months. See, it's conversational. It's just capturing this information. So right now, what's feeling the most off for you? Pick whatever comes to mind first: energy, sleep, weight, stress, digestion, mood, something else entirely. I would say digestion and stress. Let's do that. And so this is going to walk us through the process, right? And so what we want to do is just test this out, make sure we like it, right? And do you see how different this is from just going and getting, like, they have to put in their name and email, even though we already know their name and email. And then they have to answer multiple choice, or like, here's some long-winded thing. This can prompt them, right? And it can meet them where they are based on the answers that they're providing, right? Let's start with digestion. What do we want to start with first? So we're finding out what's the thing that's most important right now. Let me see. We'll say this. And we're just capturing all this information, right? Have you tried anything? See, this is, instead of just saying, what have you tried, right? Like, tell me what the thing is. And they could tell you 17 when you really want to find out what the most important thing is, right? So all of the above. So you can continue on playing around with this. And if at any point you don't like how this is working, all you got to do is go back here and tell it what you want to do differently. Maybe we do want to kind of pull this in a little bit and make it a little bit more multiple choice, right? You could do that. You could make that a little simpler, right? But what this is doing, it's just through natural conversation, it's branching on the back end, because it doesn't have to ask them every single thing, because every single thing doesn't apply to this client right now, right? Now, if there are certain things that you want to make sure you're absolutely asking of everyone, maybe those are things you're asking at the outset, then that is definitely something that we can incorporate into this as well, right? So it really is as simple as that. Let me show you how we set this up. If I go into my, my vault here, I'll go find a client vault. And I would put this at the start for a client. So here's my vital energy reset. And I've got the class here. And I'm actually going to add content to it. I am going to add, well, I don't want to add this to the class itself. I want to add it to a lesson at the beginning. And this is going to be at the beginning. Start of the class. Create the lesson. And this is going to be welcome. Let's get started. I am going to require instructor approval. Now, you don't have to worry about the rest of this because we're going to attach our GPT to this. Select GPT. And what was this? Vital Energy Reset Onboarding. There it is. Bottom right. Let's get started. Auto open chat right away, 0 seconds. Okay, and here I'm going to say, welcome, fill out the form, the interactive form on this page to get started. Once you're done, we'll move ahead to booking our first call. How about that? I will create this. All right, so this requires approval. And if you recall, again, in this GPT, we'll come back over here. In this GPT, with the outcomes here, they're ready to go. In this case, I want my outcome to be quiz is completed, or this is all questions are answered. When used in a lesson here, auto approve and go to the next one. So I'll save. And let me just edit this. Change the questions here to multiple choice and ensure that after completion, there is only one outcome. Allow, what am I going to do? I'm going to allow escalation to contact account owner. If contact has questions or outside of scope or requests to reach owner. How about that? So I'm going to get this shortened up a little bit. That way I can actually demo it for you guys. All right, Keisha says, I'm having challenges adding people to a vault. How do they see it with the pricing? So Keisha, that's going to depend on how you want to add them to the vault. If they're to be added when they buy something, right? So they put their information in and their payment on a page. In the payment settings, you would attach the vault there. And then they would get an email, right? Because when you set up your vaults, let me come over here to vaults here. In your vault settings, you have entry settings. And always there's going to be this pre-purchase campaign of which you can create a new version. But there's the criteria here, and you'll get a sort of notification here that you don't have it set up correctly if this campaign doesn't have vault access in the first email. But this email is going to give them a link that they could follow to create a login and then sign up. Now, if you're using this as a paid vault, like they're paying at the vault level, then the settings there for when they pay, you can actually allow them to just go straight to the vault itself, right? So they will fill out that information, they'll create their password, they are now in the vault. But I will check back with you in a moment if we need to kind of dig into what's going on with that in just a minute. All right, so I'm going to apply this. I just want to come back over here and make sure that you guys can see. When I go to view, I'm going to open this vault. And here is my cohort program. And you can see here, it's all locked, right? Well, I did that one before, but these are all locked and I can't move forward until I get through this, right? So this says fill out the interactive form on this page to get started. Let's get started. All right, and then I can start moving through this process. And I am using see, I would need to go back and tell it that this is what's showing up, that name there. Oh, and now it's saying the name. So see, again, if it's doing something weird, take this back to it, converse with it, and you can finish troubleshooting that process, right? And so it's asking questions. If I like them, I can change, I can keep them. If I don't, I can change them. But once this is complete, it's going to remove this need to request the next lesson, and it's going to progress me to the next one, right? And so that's how you can use this to sort of gate your onboarding process. Now, to get back to the question that was asked previously, if you need a signed agreement, what I would do is don't add them to the vault right away. What I would do is I would set up a page that would be the agreement, right? So this I would create, this is a coaching agreement. New clients in the Vital Energy Reset. Fill out form to complete coaching agreement. Type of page. It's going to be an opt-in page. This is a coaching agreement page. Okay, so I'm going to let this create, but what I'm going to do in the form itself is you can actually capture a signature, right? So you could use a page as an agreement. Again, if you need something that is like more formally reproducible, then, you know, where they can print it right away or whatever that looks like, then I would use something like a DocuSign or whatever your preferred method is. But then what I would do for a client who gets to this page, they've successfully completed it, in the form setup, I would then add them to the vault, right? And then they could go and they can interact with the bot, give all of those intake answers, and then proceed on to the next step. And maybe in that next lesson, we are, you know, giving access to our calendar where they can book their first call with us, right? So really this does kind of take the, oh, here we go. All right, so complete the coaching agreement. Perfect. I'm going to go ahead and save and finish this, and then we can edit the form. So what I would do here is I would go to settings, leads, fields, and booking. I would add a field, and this is going to be a digital signature, right? So I agree, ... right? And then after they register, I would add them to the this vault. There it is. And I would maybe send them to a confirmation page that says check your email, because the vault is going to be sending that access email. So if I save this and view it, you see you can actually put all of the information about the agreement on the page. They put in their information, they draw their signature, and then after this is done, you can send them to the vault where they can complete the onboarding process. All right, so I want to make sure that I am keeping space for the folks who signed up for the live review, and I do want to get to the questions in the Q&A as well. Ricky, are you here? Let me see if you're here. Okay, I don't see Ricky here. And I think the question was about setting up a vault and digital help, loading digital products, and a couple of other things. So not having that full context, it's a little bit difficult for me to do that without you here. I know you're probably going to watch the replay. So let me just show you really quickly some places you can go. If you are creating a vault, by the way, that is to serve your people, you are going to be, actually, first and foremost, if you're going to offer something that would live inside of a member area, you want people to log in to be able to access it. So it's not just something that they get via a link, they download and access it that way. Head over here to the Success Academy, go to online resources and courses, and this guy right here, how to build your. It shows you how to build everything that you would want to build in a vault. Now, if you are offering digital products that you're selling, so this would be where you put courses, programs, things like that. If you are offering something that's downloadable and just accessible after download, then what you want to do is take the product itself. So this would probably be in PDF format, perhaps. If that's the case, you're going to go to your content library to files, upload those here, right? So that these become shareable links that you can send whenever it is that you need to send them, right? So if there is a, an ebook that's a PDF format, then you're going to be able to share that here. Lots of different file options here. as you can see. So, so you're going to pop that there. And then after they purchase, if you're using a page, then you would put the link to this inside of the campaign that goes out after they purchase. And if you're using the store, then you have several options there as well. You would set up your product. So if this is the product, for instance, we would come down here, and after someone places an order, we need to send them somewhere, right? And so just like I would do if we were using a page to sell, like a sales page, either way, we're going to send them via email the thing that they asked for, right? And why do we not send them the link to the thing to see it immediately after they purchase? Well, because they could give us the wrong email address, right? And the whole purpose of all of this is to build a list that you can continue to show up for and sell to, right? So what we do is we send them to a thank you page or a confirmation page. And that always says, go check your email. I've sent you what you asked for. If you don't see it, get in touch with me. And that's where you can get together and troubleshoot if, say, maybe they gave you the wrong email address, right? So that means that whenever we send a digital product, we're going to attach it to a campaign. So in our day zero message for our campaign, so the first message that goes out, that is going to have, hey, here's your book, right? Or hey, here's your audio or whatever it is. And then you're simply going to grab the link to that file that you've uploaded and make sure that that's clickable from that campaign. You could also embed it on a page and send them to a page that has these things after they have purchased as well. But you want to put that in that first email. All right. I
think that's
also have,
Ricky in chat, just FYI. A
oh,
couple of messages ago.
oh, let me see.
If that's the same,
Oh,
Ricky.
is this the same Ricky? Did you sign up for a review? I didn't recognize because I see you're here and I'm used to your name, but there is a completely different last name on the Ricky who signed up today. So if you have another alias that I do not know, Ricky here on the call, let me know. But if that is you, then yeah, I'm happy to bring you out. Here, let me see. Oh, okay, got you. All right, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to be getting to everything that's in the Q&A here in just a minute. I just want to honor the folks who signed up ahead of time. Alicia, are you here, or Diane? For Faithfully Legal, are either of you guys here? Just pop your hand up for me and I will bring you out. Oh, there we go. Hey, how can I help?
Hi, how are you?
Good, good. How are you?
Good, good. So actually, I have a concern in regards to the email campaigns. If you can maybe open up our account for Faithfully Legal, I
Mhm.
can maybe show it to you. So
Sure.
basically, this is something that has started happening as of last week, that the email signature that we are getting from the emails that we have scheduled on the email campaign, they're for some reason duplicating. So I
Mm.
tried to readjust the settings and everything, but I'm not sure what exactly is the issue. If you scroll down, there's a campaign with the name website compliance bundle. That's the one I have open right now. Yeah. And in the first one, yeah, if I go ahead and edit this email, there's only one signature in this template. But once I click on done and preview the email, then I see two. And also the one of the signatures, ratios are all always, off as well. So this has started happening for a couple of campaigns because, and this has always been the way that we have been scheduling the emails as well in the campaigns. So I'm not sure that why is this happening all of a sudden.
Okay. Let's see. So I think it's because we've basically got this here is your global. So basically this is showing up as well as what you have in that email, right?
Yes, if
Okay.
you can go back to the campaign and click on preview, you would be able to see what exactly I'm
Mm.
saying.
Hmm. And so if
No, click on,
I'm sorry.
yeah, click on done. I just wanted to show you what exactly I'm saying. This is show you have just added another, right?
Right.
So if you click on done
Uh-huh.
and then preview it from this
Here,
right
let me delete this
next to
extraneous
delete.
one. Yeah. Okay. So you want to preview it? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and now if we scroll down, you would
Mm-hmm.
be able to see two signatures.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm not sure why is this happening.
Yeah. Greg, could this be a bug perhaps? Because this is a signature as it shows up in the builder, but it looks like the global one is inserting despite it being
That just
here.
may be does it actually show up in the email, or it may just be a little preview window issue?
No, it shows up in the email as well because
Okay.
I tested it out for my own email address as well, and that was happening too. There were few reminder emails that were sent out to our clients. They also, got like we also got a copy of. We were able to see that, its signature was duplicated over there too.
Okay.
Okay. But the way it's supposed to work is if you have the basic email editor, it does in a campaign, it will add the signature to it. But if it's part of the email builder, which is what this is, it shouldn't be adding anything extra on there.
Right. Yeah. But it looks like it is though. So that might be a bug to investigate. Because yeah, I mean, it does look like you have it set up correctly. And yeah, like Greg mentioned, if you were using the basic email editor, then it will automatically insert the global signature, which is what's here, right? And we don't want to remove this from what's here because we want this to show up when you send other types of messages. But yeah, I think that's something that we'll have to look into on the back end, just to see if there's some kind of a bug that's causing that.
Okay, so would you guys be able to email me after the call, or how does that go?
Sure.
Could you,
Okay.
I mean, since we don't have this, could you just send a quick email to support@attractwell.com with maybe a link to this page, or at least the name of the campaign that it is, and which message would be
Support at
helpful?
attractwell.com, that's the one?
Support.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, perfect. I will go ahead and do that.
you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
That's all.
absolutely. All right, Keisha, are you available to chat? Can I bring you out? You had questions about adding folks to a vault. Just kind of going off of the order here. Just pop your hand up and let me know if you can. Let me see. Okay. Hey, all right. So tell me about your vaults and how you want to get people into it.
Hi, Ashley. Hi, Greg. How are y'all?
Good. Hey.
I'm sorry, I don't have my camera on. I think it fell over somewhere. So, I have two vaults. The first vault are for my current clients that are working with me now. They are ongoing. So I wanted to, I have a GPT in there for them as well as the course and other things. And when I sent one to one of my clients, she said she got the email, but she couldn't see what I was seeing. And that's under the ultimate member access.
Okay.
And it looks like she's not joined.
That's right. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's see, under payment setup, anyone with the link can purchase. We're requiring oh, well, there isn't a payment plan attached to it.
Yeah, so this one actually shouldn't require payment yet. So that the problem is okay.
Okay, so that's probably what it is. So I'm going to save this without requiring a payment since you don't have that set up yet. And if you were to send her, or if you were to add her to it again, or well, like, I guess let me ask you this. If you're not requiring payment here, where would you want them, like, how would you want them, people generally to be able to access? Do you want to add them manually as they're qualified, or do you want to have a form on your website?
For the current clients, it's like 5 of them. I want to, because I've been working with them for a while, and then I just joined AttractWell like about a month or two ago. So now that things are kind of set up, I want to start to add them in manually.
Okay.
And then in the future, if I sell it, when I sell it, then there will be a payment requirement for it.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what you could still do, to be fair, is when you go here to your payment setup, I would go ahead and set this up for how you want it. Because when you go to add a contact manually, when you go add them to Vault, if it's a paid Vault, there will be a little checkbox where it'll say add them for free. So if you have it set up to where you would be charging anyone else, you can still manually add your clients that you were already working with. What that looks like, and I don't want
I was
to
gonna say where would I add them for free?
yeah, no, don't worry, don't worry. I'm gonna switch to an account that is that's not real, so that we aren't compromising any of the privacy of your clients. But if I
Okay.
wanted to, oh shoot, actually, what would be the best way to do this? I need an account that has payments. I know what I'll do. Okay, I'm gonna find myself. All right. Okay. So here's me. So if I'm on the contact card itself, so this is a client that you're already working with. Another option would be just to go to your contact list and check all of the people, and then you could do a bulk contact action. But if you scroll down on the contact card, you'll see vaults. And so I'm going to click add. And I know that I think this is a paid one. There you go. It says provide for free. Just check that box. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you click add vault. So yeah, you don't have to put off setting up the payment option for it. And then when you do this, when you set this up and you do this, whatever you have attached, hold on, let me get back in here. Whatever you have attached to the vault as the when they enter. So that's this one here. Under entry settings, this entry campaign right here, this is going to go to them automatically when they're added to the vault. So that would happen if you're in their contact card and you do that. That would also happen if they bought something from somewhere else, some other entry point on your website, like a page or a store, or even if you wanted to take payment at the vault level. But this campaign is going to go out at that time, and then it's going to tell them the link to click. It'll tell them the email to use, and that allows them to go build their login and everything for your member area, and that gets them in. Yeah.
All right. Thank you for that. And then the second one is, so I'm starting a seed launch.
Okay.
So the second vault that I'm creating, so I've invited 3 VIPs. Those will be added in for free because I haven't created the content for everything yet. It's it's a seed launch. And then the ones that I've gotten a yes, and this is for the secure relationship code.
Okay.
That one. So I sent an invite to hers, but I'm not sure exactly what she'll see. I think my nervousness came after the first person not being able to.
Yeah. So this is what you're seeing here, where there's one contact that's not joined. The not joined is if you have a paid vault, first allow anyone with the link to purchase. That wasn't checked, which means that that she didn't actually have the opportunity to complete the process of purchasing. So that would need to be checked for one, and then she could purchase it, right? But what they're going to see, if that's the case, like where that's the case, is they're going to get an email. If we go back over here to our vault entry settings, this is the pre-entry or pre-purchase campaign. And there are different use cases for this. It's not one that I generally use unless I am taking payment at the vault level, and I want to be able to specifically follow up with people who made it all the way to the purchase page then didn't. I would have a campaign here that's like, hey, here's what's waiting for you inside. Hey, you want to come back and finish? Hey, you want to buy this? I would put that here. And then this, of course, the entry campaign. And by the way, this pre-entry campaign, when they enter the vault, it stops sending. So you could think about this as a sort of like a secondary sales campaign. Like, the instance would be like almost bought but didn't. And this is what you could send. You also, if you don't want to do that, you could just put no campaign here, right? That's always an option.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, you do want to make sure if you are charging for it and you do want to take payment that you allow anyone with the link to purchase. And then you make sure you're providing that link, of course.
So the VIP that I offered free that I have not put in here yet, I can technically add them to my contact and then put free, like check it like you just showed me just now then. I don't have to create like a coupon code.
That's right. You don't. No, if you would, and the thing is about coupon codes is unless you want people to know that the coupon codes exist. Because I think a lot of time, if you're going and you're asking someone to pay and then they see there's a coupon code field, that's often a trigger to go and like figure out how they can find one. And so if that's not something you generally offer and you're only doing that for VIPs, I would just provide a different entry point for VIPs, whether that be manual, or you could create a separate hidden, available by link only page on your site that allows you to add those people to the vault without paying. Because that's not just a manual thing. You can use add to vault, and there's that little check, add without paying is also an option on like pages, for instance, when they fill out a form a particular way.
Okay, that's really helpful. And when I tried to do the payment link on the vault, is it that I have to create a product first, then name a coupon link? Is that how that works? I'm sorry.
Yeah. So here,
so like how it has like coupon and automation, I have that VIP thing.
Yeah.
Right there.
So what I would do is I would deactivate that one. And this one is going to be, we're still going to call this foundation pricing. This is a recurring payment of $497 a year. Excellent. So it doesn't need a coupon code. You could tag them with, this is only going to be created with, secure relationship code, foundation, I think would be the plan name or the tag, foundation member. If there is an automation that you want to run, you would attach that here. If you want to run an automation every time a payment is made. So next year, if you want to send them a message when the purchase happens again, so you could do that here as well. But no coupon code, right? Because this is just regular pricing. So you just want to make sure that you have a regular version. And then if you wanted to have a coupon version, you could do that too.
Okay, and then if I created, like how it's the seed price, and that's the seed price is $497, and if it goes up, say, for example, 600 to 600, I would just create a new pricing and then deactivate the other one?
Correct. Yep, you would just uncheck that.
All right, thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have a lot of questions. Thank you for taking that time out.
Of course, you're in the right place. All right, Melody, can you share your prompt codes for us in a document so we have structure we can adapt? I'll tell you today, the one that I used, I don't think it was particularly good for what it's worth. But Melody, what I would do if it were me, if you haven't started doing this yet, and maybe this is a workshop that I need to run at some point because it has revealed itself. I would create, if you use a paid AI, I'd create a project there, and I'd start building governing documents in the project files that every time you ask something, it needs to follow these rules. That way you don't need to be a prompt engineer every time you ask for something. And I would make sure that you have codified the structure of your programs, the scope of your work, who your person is, nature of questions, frequently asked questions, things like that. Building a project out like that so that an AI understands you well enough to write a prompt on your behalf, which today, like if it were for something that I needed, it would give something really great. But I was using the Jane example and it doesn't know Jane very well. I gave it a very thin starting point and it gave me something that was a little wonky. So I would spend some time on sort of codifying. Think about yourself as a Fortune 500, right? Think about yourself as a major corporation. Establish your sources of truth. If you had a separate marketing department and a separate coaching department and a separate, like if you had these, you would have playbooks for each one of those, right? To make sure that everybody is operating from the truth being one thing. And so if you have a project like that in your paid AI, and do this in your AI settings in AttractWell, please, you can put a massive amount of information in there to have AttractWell work correctly for you when you're using AI to generate stuff. But the more you give it, the better. And then basically you just want to tell it that you're creating a custom GPT and I want the parameters to be these things. I want the questions to be these things, and go back and forth with it. You're going to get, I think, the best outcome by actually, again, starting with the most accurate, voluminous source of truth you can, and then being as very specific as possible with the scope of what you want to create. Because everything that I do here is just super on the fly to show you how you do it. But if you were actually doing it, and I'm being honest about like the time it takes to actually do it, we're going to spend a little bit more time than like the 2 minutes that it took me to put that in there to make sure that we are correctly providing the scope, right? So again, I would really think first, less about how to prompt and more about how can we be as absolutely specific as possible. Here's what I want it to do. Here's the form that I'm already using. Provided a link to the form so it could read it for you and see the questions that you're asking. Ask it, how can I improve upon this? And then think about what the patterns are in the way that you work with clients so that you can, better formulate a pattern there. All right, so Tiffany, let me know if that helped. I did show the how to get the signature. Hope you got that. I did demonstrate that a little bit ago. I hope that was helpful to you. Let me know that you got that. Let's see, can I use this as an intake form that includes in signing a contract with legal disclaimer instead of using the form under page settings? So this is not going to, this is just a chat bot, right? So it's going to provide dialogue or quizzing, multiple choice, etc. This is going to work as a form in that way. If you want to capture their signature, that is something that you're going to want to do on a page like the one that I shared. And the workflow that I would recommend is actually just to take them maybe at the point of purchase. Go ahead and have the agreement there on the page, capture their signature then, and then you can add them into the vault where you can continue with that process from that point forward. Another option would be to maybe have a page in the vault that unlocks a lesson, right? So that they can move forward to the next stage. And that page in the vault that you have an automation there that unlocks a lesson. I don't know, there's a lot of different things that you could do there, but if you want to capture a signature, we're not able to do that at this point with a GPT. All right, a question on events from Deanna. How can I get link the event registration pop up to other pages? I'd like clients to be able to register for the event from the landing page rather than having to link to the events page, then hit register again. So I would encourage you in an instance like this, Deanna, to think about the events page as just sort of like a listing that takes them to places, where you take payment or you capture additional information. It's sort of like a yes and proposition. So what I would want to do is have a dedicated page for the events that I want. So this could be a landing page or a page that specifies all of the details, captures more information than our RSVP system would. And you can have via automations, it actually RSVP them for that event if that matters to you. So yeah, if you believe that people are coming to your website or you are promoting people to come to your website and click the events digest, that's a great place to keep all of your events, but it's not where you would necessarily take the registration, though you could. I guess, let me just bring you out. Tell me about what you're trying to do and what's not working for you, because I do want to just make sure that you've got a good answer here to walk away with.
Thank you. Yeah, so can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I think what I'm understanding is you're saying essentially use the lead capture of a page to get them signed up and then use a tag and an automation to essentially RSVP them into the event. Is that correct?
Yeah, but I mean, it is. Yes, it is correct. However, the RSVP feature, I don't know is necessary all of the time. Tell me about the event. Is this in person? Does a head count matter beforehand?
It's it's live, but it's on Zoom, and it's going to be something that I'm planning to do as a recurring monthly masterclass. And so I do want people to sign up for specific dates, and I do want to keep track of who signed up for which date. So I was going to create a separate event for each essentially, monthly webinar. But I noticed that I couldn't find a way to link the sign up to the event itself without going through the events page. So that makes them, go through the landing page, or if they're at the home page, goes home page, landing page, then registration page. So it just becomes like too long of a journey.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I wanted to be able to have something where, if they just want to sign up from the home page, there is some kind of like a pop-up where they can directly get put into the event rather than going through all those different steps.
Understood. Yeah. So a couple of things. First, I do highly recommend, again, if you're going to be doing events regularly, that you utilize the, your account /events is going to always provide like everything that's coming up. And so this is going to be a great way to provide additional exposure for people, but it doesn't necessarily have to be where you send them initially. It's kind of like, you know, when you are promoting a blog post, it's better to send them to the post than to send them to the list of all your posts, right? So it depends on where it shows up, right? I think that it's a good idea to have events listed here that then point off to landing pages where they actually register. And so that just basically means that if someone is on your website and they're poking around, they can see, oh, here are events. I could choose to register for any or all of these, right? But when they go to register, we don't want them to do this. What I actually...
That's the page. Yeah. So that's where I'm trying to get them to, because I'm using this as my lead magnet. So it's not just like an event. I want it to be very visible on the homepage. And essentially, it's what I'm going to be promoting, you know, as my main lead magnet. And so with that, I don't want to bury it in an events page. I do want it to have like that direct registration capacity.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah. So then what we would do is we could put this on the homepage as a pop-up for sure. Absolutely. But what I would also consider is, okay, so you're saying you want them to register every month. So if they register once, they're only registered for that one occurrence, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So then what I would do is I would either use a page or I would use a landing page, right? So either of these will work. And I would create one.
Sorry to interrupt you. Would it help if I just showed you the link? Because I have a landing page already.
Sure.
So basically what I'm trying to do is just reduce the number of clicks they have to go through in order to actually end up registered. Let me see. I'll put it in the chat.
Okay. Okay, let me get my screen share up here. Okay. So, okay, so this is the masterclass. Okay. Oh, yes.
So then they have to click on reserve there, and then the other pop-up comes. So I'm trying to avoid that extra step of going through the events page.
Got you. Okay. Okay. So what I would do here, and this is a page on your site. So this is reset and renew. This one?
The masterclass, yep.
Okay. So this is going to be the one that's for April 1st. So what I'm going to do here is go to settings, leads. We're using a pop-up. We are going to capture the information on the page, right? And actually, what I might do here, let's put the form down here, two-column, add a two-column section with form on right side. So let's put the form on the page. Basically replicate this page for every future event, right? Take registration on this page. So from this page, we don't want to point back to the events list. But what we want to do is we want to point from the events list to this page. So we've got the pointing in the opposite direction, right? So here's, oh, I love how it just took everything.
It just did that right now. Amazing. You guys are amazing with it. I haven't used the AI completely yet, but I'm just kind of dabbling under AttractWell. But I use ChatGPT all the time, so I just have to get used to actually using it within AttractWell. It's amazing.
Wild. All right. So fields and booking, I am going to just take name and email. Let me save and actually let's go up to this button here is going to need to be hashtag lead. All right. And anywhere else we might have that, we need to do that as well. Okay, that's good. So once we have that, then we're going to be sending them, like, we don't need to send them anywhere else. I would want to send them to a confirmation page, and I would make that neutral so that you could use it for all of them. Right. I would just be easier. And then here also, so we're no longer sending them to this, to the event itself. So if we go and we view this, reserve my spot, here we go. Oh, this is, I see, this might have been a copy of a,
I copied from a previous one.
Yeah, okay. So let's go ahead and turn off the payments here and try that one again. There we go. Name, email. Oh yeah, and I'll remove all the rest of this stuff too. I would do that. But then basically what you do is you take this page and then in your events, because events are really just a listing. It's just a listing. This is the one for April 1st.
Yep.
So what we would do here is we would go edit and we would go, instead of registering here, go to more options, don't allow self-registration, and put the event link here. And so now what that looks like is that when we go and we view this event or any of your, like if you had events as a thing here, you click learn more and it takes you to this page where you could then go sign up.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so when they sign up through here, should I then set up automations for them to be RSVP'd? Like, what would be the benefit? Because, sorry, I'm trying to too many things at once. So the point of the events is that we have a place where everyone who signed up is there. So I can easily send them messages or emails or whatever.
Yeah.
So then would the easiest way to still have them be part of that is to add an automation from the landing page once they sign up?
So what I would do here is after a lead registers, right down here, I would want to apply a campaign here. I would use a date-based campaign for each event that you host, and it should have a day 0 confirmed your seat is saved, and then it would have maybe a day before, hey, reminder, we're meeting tomorrow, and then an hour before, hey, we're meeting in an hour. I would attach that here and I would apply the tag here. This is how you find them later. So I wouldn't fool around, honestly, with the RSVP feature, who's yes, who's no, who's maybe. If you were doing something that was in person, that like the yes, no, maybe was material, this is really just all about volume and catching. So you don't need to worry about that additional complication. I would simply tag them with April 1 masterclass, right? Or something like that. Obviously you could modify this to your liking. You definitely need a different confirmation page here.
Yeah, I have set one up, so it should be in there.
Do you know what the name would be?
It would be Swasta Energy Reset Confirmation.
Okay, masterclass, perfect.
That's the landing page, but I'll fix it later.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So yeah, you would need. Oh, that's reset. Well, you have a retreat purchase confirmation.
Yeah, that's different. I don't know why it's not coming up. I will check on that.
Okay. So yeah, you'll want to put a confirmation page that works here. You'd want to attach your campaign here that's going to confirm and remind and send the link. And then you'll just have your tag for them here. And so yeah, that's the workflow. Is if you want to have, and we've done relatively recently, we've done recurring live events, trainings, if you want to check our YouTube for it, within the last 6 months for sure. And now that we have these, like, make a duplicate or make a page that's similar to this one, right? So if you want to adjust it for the next month, and you can do that with campaigns too, just really, it's a lot faster to create these assets. But essentially the bundle that you're making for each month is you've got a page. I would reuse a confirmation page for this. Yeah. That just makes it easier. And you would make a new campaign and then make an event. And then all you're doing is for the event should just say what it is. And then you don't allow self-registration and you send them to this page. And then you're collecting it there. It's applying the campaign, it's applying the tag, and you're off to the races.
Okay, so then the events would just serve as another funnel in to the event itself, the events page, because I don't actually have it turned on my title bar. So people wouldn't really even see it unless I took them there someplace.
Yeah, the utility is really only there if you want to use it. So if you wanted to have, say, you know, a more rich offering of ways to learn from me or something like that, you could just simply put a link to that in another page. You could direct to it. You could also just ignore it and not use it at all and just promote individual pages. But if it's useful to you to have a public list of upcoming events, it's a great feature to utilize. But if you're not planning to use it, then you can skip that entire part of the process and just focus on the pages.
I can see it for different events, but for a lead magnet, it seems like I could just skip the events page and just go from the tags and the automations. Okay, and I can just essentially update the date on the landing page and just use the same landing page and just keep updating the date if it's a monthly offering.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you do want this to be a pop-up that's on other pages on your website, that would just be a thing that you want to make sure that you're maintaining. If the link stays the same, that's great, but you might want to go in and modify the copy, right? If you want the date to be a part of the copy and always be correct.
Okay. Yeah, very helpful. Thank you very much. And I just put one more question in there. Actually, it's not a question, it's more of a request. I wonder if you guys could add the capacity to be able to schedule blogs with the email being sent out. So right now we can schedule blogs in advance for them to publish. But if we choose to email the blog out, it sends it out right away. And so I've requested, and I wonder if that can be done so that we can basically schedule all of our, blogs, social media, everything ahead of time. Right now, I'm having to essentially go in and send that blog at the every time, in the week rather than being able to pre-schedule it. Does that make sense?
Okay. So when you schedule the blog post, Greg, when you schedule the blog post and you choose to have a certain set of people emailed about the blog post when it goes out, it's supposed to delay.
It doesn't let you schedule it right now. That is something in the works. I don't know if you saw that, Deanna, but that is in progress here. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks that'll land. So
I can tell you though, just a little insight here, just as a thought, for your blog and for scheduling that. I mean, of course, yes, schedule your blog well in advance. And there is that is a cool feature to be able to just like send from the blog publishing, but you typically have other things coming up that you want to promote. My recommendation in the workflow that I generally follow and teach is to have a more dedicated newsletter that will include a mention of the blog post that you can schedule well ahead of time. But maybe you also have, other things that you're talking about there too, right? Like this masterclass, here's the one that's coming up. You can sign up for it here. And then these become just a quick thing. Because again, if you have all of the information and you've got the AI there, it comes together really quickly. I personally find that it is more effective to have a dedicated, like sort of format that you use for how you send emails that includes the blog, links to the blog that you have scheduled to post. And that's generally going to get, I think, a higher conversion rate than just sending the blog itself or just sending an excerpt through the blog feature. It's a cool thing to have. And if it's the only thing that you do, it's a fine thing to do. But the most effective way to go about doing this, in my view, is to actually schedule an email to the audience that you intend and just go ahead and put a link to the blog post in it. And that way they are both scheduled, because you can do that. You don't have to wait until, because you can schedule your broadcast to go out as well.
Yeah, I was trying that before, but then I was running into an issue where if the blog is still in draft form and it's only scheduled, then the link doesn't quite come out right. It comes out as a draft rather than the blog itself. So I was having to wait to first publish the blog and then have the email go out. So it's just a lot of paperwork.
That's actually been addressed.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, that's something that's actually been fixed.
You can actually save, I don't know if it's too late. I like the sign up that you did. If you could save that.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely. There you go.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay, so if we so for blog posts, no, 100%. If you have something that is scheduled for publication later, so maybe this is going to be published on Monday, I can schedule the post, and if I go back over here and I go get link, this is the correct link.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, use this get link. If you want to view it, the actual viewing is going to have this draft information. And by the way, you can just delete this, right? And then this is going to be correct. And then this is what you put into the email that you're scheduling.
Got it. Okay, thank you for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so many great questions today. All right, Tony, I'm going to shoot you an email, or actually, Greg, if you need to run, go ahead. Tony, you got time? Are you still here? Hey, let's chat. How are you?
Okay, good. I just wanted to be able to get some time with you, but let's do it off the clock since you're already running late, and just send me what you would charge, and so because I think your time's really valuable, and I love what you do, and basically I just ran a campaign and had 11,000 people view it, 1,800 come to the website, 300 enter the pop-up, and 0 purchases.
Okay.
And it blows away all the rules that everybody says. So I just wanted somebody to kind of go through everything with me and say, yeah, you got to change this. That didn't work. I've added videos. I've added testimonials, things like that. But it just seems like with 3 different offerings, we're having issues there with each one. And we're talking about inexpensive offerings. So that's the kind of thing I want to talk about.
Okay, excellent.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's been a little bit since I've done paid traffic, but I could definitely analyze for conversions. I'll shoot you a message. We'll figure something out.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Yeah, sure thing, Tony.
And Greg, thank you while you're on here too. Just all the incredible work. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Tony. Appreciate it.
All right. I don't do classes unless you guys hear about them. But I'll be sure to let you guys know if that's the case when it happens. All right. Thank you guys for sticking around, being incredible people. And yeah, we so appreciate you guys. You're the reason we do what we do. Thank you for being out there, being bold enough to bring your work to the world, make it a better place. We're honored to be a part of that journey. So we'll be back same time next week. We're going to be hearing from a member of our community who could like sneeze and get 200 leads. It's incredible how she works with AttractWell. Her process is so beautiful to see, and the work that she's done, and she has no design background. You guys are going to love it. So please make sure you show up next week. You're going to love Paula. And I'm so honored to be able to share her with you guys. So we'll see you then. Take care. Talk soon. Bye.